Honestly, it's a bigger fight than those two, to be honest, in my opinion.
Like,
no one really knows who Crawford is, to be honest.
outside of hardcore boxing.
I think my mom has more followers than him on Instagram. I'm not even kidding.
Canelo, how easy of a fight is Jake Paul? How easy of a fight is Jake Paul?
I don't want to say any bad things. I think he doing good things for his own thing, but boxing is a little bit different when you fight in a real fighter.
I feel that.
Jake Paul is once again in the news, and this time he's targeting Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford directly. In a torrent of criticism, Jake states that Crawford isn't even worthy of the Canelo fight. But while he speaks of status and influence, the world of boxing is concerned with skill and legacy. Here's what went down and why no one's taking the bait. Jake Paul just shot off a fiery statement denouncing the upcoming Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez fight, stating that Crawford doesn't have the stardom and mainstream appeal to make the kind of mega fight that this would be. To Jake, the fight isn't commercially viable and won't sell as well as fans believe it will. He noted that Crawford, with his top-notch boxing resume, does not have the social numbers or crossover appeal that should go along with a Canelo caliber opponent. It wasn't a statement on skill. This was about exposure, attention, and influence, which in Jake's opinion are just as important in today's fight business.
Honestly, it's a bigger fight than those two, to be honest, in my opinion.
Like,
no one really knows who Crawford is, to be honest.
outside of hardcore boxing.
I think my mom has more followers than him on Instagram. I'm not even kidding.
But this is not Jake's first rodeo in criticizing Canelo. It's a refrain that he's reused in various forms for years. Whether it's been on memes, interviews, or public criticism, Jake has gone all out to insert himself into Canelo's sphere. This time, he just redirected the target to Crawford, making it about who gets the limelight. It's the same script, only with a different name in the co-star position. Jake's bottom line is really more about advancing his own race to generate a Canelo payday, no matter what.
You would have done better than Skull, though.
1,000%, without a doubt. I would have beat Canelo, and this is what I've been saying. He's over the hill. Obviously, Crawford's a great fighter, Canelo's a great fighter, but I just think that this has more hype around it, and we just saw them come off of some boring-ass fights, and they're probably just going to sit there and dance for 12 rounds.
He didn't end there. Jake also criticized how the Canelo versus Crawford fight was hyped up, describing their behind-the-scenes meeting as boring, not enough in terms of hype, and totally forgettable. He mocked the face-off, the hype, and the overall hype of the announcement, likening it to a low-budget handshake deal. For a guy like Jake, who's made his name off of viral moments, shock value, and influencer-level hype, it was easy to declare the meeting dull, but the jab was obviously more style versus substance, and it offended purists.
Do you think Turkey has a vendetta against you or try to sabotage the fight between you and Canelo?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think he should have a vendetta. I don't know why he would or anything like that, but I definitely do think they threatened, and I know that they threatened to pull his, multi-hundred-million-dollar contract if he were to fight me.
And just one last topic, or one last question on that topic. What do you think about, the way that it's been promoted? It seemed like they were very friendly, they were going to dinner, then there was a push. Just what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I think it's corny, to be honest. I tweeted, imagine if Ronaldo and Messi had dinner together before the World Cup. That's just not how real competitors. You think Michael Jordan was doing that type of shit? So I think it's corny. I would never engage in any of those activities.
No matter all the commotion Jake's creating, it doesn't faze Canelo Alvarez. The Mexican Idol hasn't even considered granting Jake a chance, not even for publicity. Though others may have bitten or taken advantage of the moment for publicity stunts, Canelo has remained consistent, focused, scornful, and not interested in circus entertainment. Even as Jake keeps amping up the trash, Canelo hasn't flinched. His silence is louder than any tweet, and for Jake, that silence is deafening.
Would you ever entertain a Jake Paul fight?
Not right now. Let's see later when I have like a 50 years old.
The disrespect goes so deep that in Canelo's last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he openly wished Chavez to beat Jake Paul in a potential future showdown. When questioned about the notion, Canelo had no qualms about expressing admiration for the old school boxer, even one with a troubled past, over a YouTuber turned boxer. It was a veiled but unmistakable jab at Jake, leaving no doubt that Canelo doesn't consider him serious, and probably never will. His allegiance to boxing's old guard speaks volumes.
I hope Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. beat Jake Paul. My support is with Chavez Jr.
Thank you.
And it's not personal, it's principle. Canelo has already made it clear. He just doesn't consider Jake Paul an actual boxer. To him, Jake's fights are exhibits at best, spectacles at worst. There's no long-standing beef or social media battle. That's mere indifference, based on the conviction that you don't cut in line by yelling loud. You gain it through hard battles waged over years. And up to now, Jake has not persuaded Canelo, or anybody at his level for that matter, to believe that he's done enough to gain anything more than an asterisk.
Canelo, how easy of a fight is Jake Paul? How easy of a fight is Jake Paul?
I don't want to say any bad things. I think he doing good things for his own team, but boxing is a little bit different when you fight in a real fighter. Yeah, real fighter.
I feel that.
Canelo's not the only one with such a thought. Carl Froch, not one to mince words, recently took a shot at Jake Paul and came out flatly declaring he'll never be a true professional. According to Froch, boxing is not about learning the art, just becoming popular. Froch made fun of Jake's efforts to mouth his way into big fights by calling it an insult to fighters who had to work hard to get where they are. For Froch, this is not a discussion, a fact. Jake does not fit into real-world champions conversations, and he never will.
My name was mentioned at his press conference and he himself, and the fight was just absolutely diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will be. And he proves time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, go on, piss off.
Artur Beterbiev added his voice to the criticism, did so in savage troll style. Asked whether he'd ever box Jake Paul, Beterbiev laughed and said Jake wouldn't survive 2 rounds. He made it well known that he considers Jake more of a comic relief than an opponent. His condescending tone echoed what many top boxers have intimated for years, that Jake's name is mentioned to get clicks, not credibility. And from someone like Beterbiev, that sort of shade is biting.
When will you fight Jake Paul? I'm too young to fight with Jake Paul because I'm only 40. I need to be like 65 or something like that.
Even Terence Crawford, the guy Jake was initially discrediting, couldn't help but chuckle along. When questioned about Jake's statement, Crawford waved it off with a smile and said he's heard worse from better. He remained respectful but let body language speak for itself. To Crawford, Jake's words are static, background noise that doesn't count when the true fight bell sounds. His attention is fixed on Canelo, and Jake's say carries no value in the view of the undisputed welterweight champ.
We have this conversation, Ray. Would you fight Jake Paul?
Nah.
Jake he too big? He too big?
Yeah, Jake big, but he doing his thing, man. Let Jake do what Jake
got $200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul. I'll fight Jake Paul. Come on, Jake. Hey, Logan. Forgive me. I gotta fight your brother, man.
Unexpectedly, however, Crawford later tempered a bit in another interview, bestowing upon Jake a small nod of respect. He recognized that although Jake's approach is not orthodox, he's brought fresh eyes to the sport and works diligently to become better. Crawford averred that if Jake remains serious about boxing and continues to fight actual opponents, he may well earn a shred of respect from the hardcore community eventually. It wasn't exactly glowing praise, but it wasn't a complete dismissal either. For Jake Paul, that's likely the best approximation of validation he'll receive.
Is Jake Paul boxing?
Yes.
I think that answer will shock a lot of people.
At first, I was against it. I'm like, man, yeah, them dudes just using their YouTube status to come in boxing and make all this money. After watching them and seeing the seriousness that he's taking, sitting there, and I'm like, man, this dude can punch with that right hand. This dude really getting better. Like, he really can fight.
Subscribe today for the actual breakdowns, straight up analysis, and all the headlines worth your attention in the fight world. When legends collide and egos meet, we have the truth, no filler, all fights.